Winter's here and the temperatures can drop and be very varied from night to night. So check on what the low temperatures in your area are slated to be and think about which plants you have that might need a little extra protection. So frost cloth is something that can be purchased at nurseries or hardware stores. It gives a few degrees of extra protection. There's different thicknesses of frost cloth, so it can vary from 2 to 10 degrees of extra protection, but you want to make sure that you're applying it appropriately. We've actually wrapped this plant with burlap and then frost cloth to give it a little extra because it's newly planted. So the proper way to use the frost cloth is to wrap the plant entirely all the way down to the ground, and you can just use rocks. You can use landscape staples, which are just the U-shaped metal. You can buy those in a hardware store or nursery as well. But the whole goal is to really have this down to the soil level, making sure it doesn't blow off on windy nights, because the soil radiating heat upward is what's going to give that a little bit of extra insulation. This frost cloth should be used to actually drape around an entire plant. You want to come down to the soil level and actually wrap the plant, and this is actually trapping some of the heat that's emanating up from the ground and insulating this plant a little bit more. And with our very high winds, you want to be sure to secure this to the ground, and you can do that with landscape staples or with very heavy rocks, but you want to do it around the entire perimeter of the plant. So if you don't have frost cloth, which can be purchased at a hardware store or nursery, you can use sheets, towels, old blankets, burlap, anything that's going to give a little bit of extra insulation to those plants. And what you don't want to use, though, is plastic. If plastic is to be used, the only way to use it is to ensure that it does not come in contact with any of the foliage. It can actually cause more damage than not wrapping the plant. If you are using plastic, you would need to use PVC poles or stakes or bamboo to hold it off the foliage, and again, then do the same where you're tenting it down to the ground, rocking it around to capture some of that radiating heat from the soil. Now with succulents, there are a few of those that are a little more sensitive to frost as well, like aloes, some cacti, but one thing you do want to do with succulents is keep them drier in the winter, and that prevents a little bit more damage from happening. But with leafy shrubs, you want to make sure that they're still watered on a fairly regular basis, especially before a freeze, because as that water is evaporating, it is actually releasing heat around the plants. So just keep an eye on your plants and be mindful of which plants are a little more frost sensitive, because frost can come and go quickly, but the effects can be very long lasting.